Welcome back. If you just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 live on Channels Television Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Emergency operations continue at the scene of the Lagos Island blaze as emergency officers blame prolonged operation on equipment and items stored in the building. Multinational oil giant Total seeks to sell its stake in Nigeria's major oil field. House of Representatives investigates alleged unfair practices against independent petroleum marketers in the sale of premium motor spirit. And Democrats in the U.S. Congress announce first public hearing next week in an inquiry that seeks to impeach President Donald Trump. For more information on our top stories and others, just check out our website. It's channelstv.com. YouTube.com/channelsweb has videos of all our shows. The presidency insists there is no rift between the office of the president and the vice president. The senior special assistant to the president on National Assembly matters made this clarification while briefing journalists at the National Assembly today. While responding to critics who questioned President Buhari's decision to sign the amended Deep Offshore Act in London, he insists that the Constitution permits the president to work from anywhere.
I don't think by any way or manner the office of the vice president has been relegated. As you all know, the position of the president of Nigeria, he could work wherever he is at any point in time, whether he's in the country or he's outside the country. And the most celebrated case, the most celebrated instance was when President Shehu Musa Yar'Adua was sick actually, and he could not communicate with the National Assembly before he traveled. And he was gone for a very long time, and the National Assembly had to find a way of working around the provision of the Constitution to ensure that executive power goes to the vice president. I don't think there is any way whatsoever that the position of the vice president has been relegated, and I think the president is performing his functions where he is. Thank you very much.
The Court of Appeal in Kaduna State has nullified the election of the Senate spokesperson Dayo Adeyeye and upheld the tribunal judgment that declared Senator Biodun Olujimi of the People's Democratic Party winner of the Ekiti South senatorial election. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, had declared Mr. Adeyeye of the All Progressive Congress as winner, while Mrs. Olujimi challenged the result at the tribunal. In her petition, Senator Olujimi asked the tribunal to nullify Mr. Adeyeye's victory on the grounds that the election was marred by massive irregularities. The tribunal, in its judgment, nullified elections in some polling units and declared Mrs. Olujimi the authentic winner of the polls. Mr. Adeyeye and the APC then filed a petition at the Court of Appeal, asking it to set aside the ruling of the lower court. But the appellate court judges unanimously upheld the tribunal's judgment and ordered INEC to issue a fresh certificate of return to Senator Olujimi. And let's cross over to Abuja studios, where Maokwe is standing by with more stories. Hello, Maokwe.
Hello, Melinda. We welcome our viewers to our Abuja studios. The lawyer to the convener of #RevolutionNow protest, Mr. Femi Falana, says his client, Omoyele Sowore, and his co-defendant, Olawale Bakare, have met their bail conditions on charges of treasonable felony preferred against them by the federal government. Mr. Falana announced this at the resumed trial of Mr. Sowore at the Federal High Court in Abuja. He, however, asked for an adjournment on the grounds that he has not been allowed access to the defendants who've been in the custody of the Department of State Services.
It is the trial of the convener of Revolution Now protest, as every available space in the courtroom is occupied by lawyers and litigants. Lawyer to the defendants begin the legal fireworks as he kicks against the commencement of the trial on the ground that the Department of State Services has continually denied him access to his clients, despite meeting the bail conditions. He therefore requests an adjournment to enable him meet with his clients in order to prepare for their defense. But the prosecutor opposed the application for adjournment, stating that the charges were filed and served on the defendants, on the 20th of September, which affords the defendant ample time and opportunity to prepare for their defense. Counsel to Sowore counters as he insists that he has been to the office of the DSS on several occasions without seeing his clients. He informs the court that the prosecutor has applied to have his witness masked through the deputy registrar of the court without the permission of the court and has brought a protective shield to the courtroom. Justice Ojukwu, however, dismissed that argument as she says there is no such application before her. Mr. Falana reacts to the proceedings as he alleges a planned ambushment by the prosecutor.
We got to the court this morning and met screening materials. And as soon as the case was called, we objected to the procedure. The Honorable Justice, the presiding justice, the Honorable Justice Ojukwu, sent for the DCR, who confirmed that indeed there was an application made by the prosecutor to have some witnesses taken in camera.
The prosecutor clears the air on the said application for the masking of witnesses.
They have never complained before today that they have not been served with any of the evidence or the documents that is listed in the proof of evidence. They have not complained to the prosecution. I want to say with all sense of responsibility, there is not anything like secret trial. We have been in this for a very long time.
The case has been adjourned to the 5th and 6th of December for continuation of trial.
Away from legal matters now, the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, is calling for understanding from Nigerians as road constructions may cause gridlocks in several parts of the country during the Yuletide season. Addressing journalists after the Federal Executive Council meeting headed by the Vice President at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, the minister said the sum of 58.488 billion naira has been approved for the Bida-Sachi-Nupeko Road. Our correspondent Kayla Megwa reports.
The Federal Executive Council meeting holds as scheduled at the Presidential Villa in Abuja, chaired by the Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo. The Minister of Works and Housing, along with the Minister of Communication, briefs journalists on resolutions met during the meeting.
So this is the artificial intelligence that has been developed by one young man from Katsina State by name Abdul Hakim Bashir. And it emerged the global best in the most celebrated and biggest category, that is artificial intelligence. 750 participants participated in that category from 73 countries. And he happens to be the best.
It's Bida-Sachi-Nupeko Road, actually, pardon me. And we've attached a bridge, the Nupeko Patigi Bridge across the river Niger to link Niger and Kwara states together and also facilitate connectivity from southwest to the north central and the north of Nigeria.
Fielding questions from journalists, Mr. Pantami insists on the downward review of data charges by network mobile operators, while Mr. Fashola says approval for payments do not immediately translate to physical payment and deployment to site.
We evaluated the price of data in all African countries. We discovered that there is need for us to make sure that the price is reduced. We will not allow our masses, innocent Nigerians that have been very supportive to government in any way, to be unjustly cheated.
When I come here to announce that a particular amount was approved for a contract, that doesn't mean the amount has been paid. Between awarding a contract and also mobilizing to site, there's a distance. First of all, we have to have agreement. That's a relationship between the Ministry of Works or every other ministry and the Ministry of Justice. Then there's a role that banks play. They have to give guarantees.
The Minister of Communication and Digital Economy says all hands are on deck to ensure that ICT startups in Nigeria get the promotion that they need to thrive in Nigeria. As the Ember months come around the corner, the Minister of Works and Housing says, yes, there's going to be a lot of traffic on the road, especially for the holidays in December, but says that a lot of palliatives are being put in place to ensure that Nigerians do not suffer during the Yuletide. Kayla Megwa, Channels Television News.
When the News at 10 returns, Democrats in the United States Congress announced first public hearings next week in an inquiry which seeks to impeach President Donald Trump. That and other international stories and around the world in 5. Do join us again.